There was a very weird story that kind of popped up on our radar. When was it, Leslie? Probably like a week or two ago? About a couple weeks ago, maybe?
A couple weeks ago.
Kind of popped up on the radar, and, you hear a lot of these celebrity stories, they kind of get knocked around, and this one specifically caught our attention because one of the people, or two of the people specifically involved in this story, were Atlanta-based people, and Tony Allen, of course, being an Atlanta-based musician. Of course, we're talking about the story with Lindsay Lohan and rehab and all that, and we were lucky enough to get Tony to come in and join us in the studio and kind of tell a story. Good morning.
Hey, Tony.
How are you this morning, man?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
Good. Everybody's good, man. So the band is called Dead Stays Alive. Before we jump into this, tell us a little bit background on your band and stuff. Like, where you guys been working on a studio project and such?
Yeah, this is Scott, by the way.
Oh, good morning, Scott.
How are you?
I know Scott. Scott's a local
you.
musician in town. How you doing?
I'm great. It started out, it's not a full-blown band yet. It started out as a studio project. We got together, wanted to write some songs, no expectations, and recorded the whole thing in my basement. And, kind of fast forward to today,
Yeah.
So
a
now,
series of events have happened.
So right now, it says you guys have just been in the studio recording stuff,
Exactly.
laying tracks down. Now, do you tend to put a band together and go on the road?
Absolutely. Yeah. Day by day right now, trying to finish up the record.
Now, Scott, how did you and Tony meet?
We were school friends. We've known each other for a long time. And,
Very cool.
He contacted me last year and said, "Hey, man, I want to do some music," and I said, "Let's do it."
Absolutely. So, Tony, did you grow up here in Atlanta?
No, I did not. I grew up in Savannah.
Oh, Savannah. Okay. And when did you make the move out to Atlanta?
I've been coming back and forth to see Scott and work for about the last 6 months.
Oh, okay, cool.
Hanging in the basement.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, hey, modern technology a lot.
Well, let's just say that your life has changed dramatically over the last 2, 3, 4 weeks, right?
So, like it or not, you're in the news if it's not just celebrity news. And of course, it's a multifaceted story. There's the rehab part, there's the Lindsay Lohan, and then there's your wife, soon to be ex, according to the story.
That's what I hear.
That's
this is from the papers that were handed me.
That's
yes,
right.
This is
The
what
press
I'm told.
talks. Yeah, you hear things.
Yeah.
So explain. So you're in Utah, right? You're doing the rehab thing, which people do from time to time, and you meet Lindsay Lohan.
Correct.
And nice person.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very personable.
Very personable.
Okay.
And you guys spend some time together, probably talking about music. I'm guessing she likes the band.
She does. I mean, that was one thing we had in common. How anybody meets friends, that was the common denominator.
Yeah.
And did she share any of her music with you? Because she's recorded some stuff.
She has. Yeah, I don't know that we listened to it, but I knew that she had done an album or two. I wasn't very familiar with it.
You're a smart man.
If you don't ask me, mind me asking, Tony, why were you in rehab out in Utah?
Chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk.
Yeah. Can't stay.
I had a
away from that
substance
stuff.
abuse problem.
Okay. And you've been
Just,
working on trying to, and then your wife, or soon-to-be ex-wife, I should say, you guys were married for how long?
3 years.
3 years. Okay, so was this something that you guys went through as a couple, with you going to rehab, and she kind of had a role in saying, hey, maybe we should get kind of clean up a little bit here?
Sure, among other people, but she was very supportive about me going, and it was a voluntary choice on my part.
Sure.
Right.
How long were you there?
45 days.
45 days, okay. And then about how long into your stint in rehab did you and Lindsay Lohan end up meeting and kind of becoming friends?
Can't talk about that part of it.
Okay.
Can't give any specifics about people's.
Gotcha.
We understand that.
So, so you guys were in there and obviously got along fairly well. Now, when did it blow up? Like, when did the whole thing just be like? You were kind of like, what happened now? What was this? Like, when did you hear the news, or how did you become aware of what was being alleged?
Said in the tabloids, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly how I found out. It's a pretty funny story. I was in an airport in Cincinnati, and somebody was flying with me, and they said, "Tony, you might want to come here for a second." I opened up a magazine, and there it was. I was as shocked as I thought it was a joke. I thought I was being punked.
And what was it a picture of?
It was shots from Utah, and they says, "Is this Lindsay's new boyfriend?" And then started giving details about the band, my life, whatever.
So while you were there, did you see like paparazzi all over the place and stuff? Because I'm sure it was probably a zoo.
Absolutely, I'd never seen anything like that in my life. People jumping out of bushes, cars,
Literally jumping out of bushes.
literally jumping out of bushes.
Yeah, they were showing like she was on some field trip and they were going canoeing or whatever, and there were paparazzi everywhere.
Sure. Yeah. Well, they're like leashes too. They're all over the place, and they will follow her anywhere. So now, when you're in rehab, do you get to like leave the facility? Do you get to go out and do some stuff? If you want to go catch a movie or something, can you do that, or is it like you have to stay within the confines?
No, you can do things, but it's supervised. There's not any roaming free time or anything. Everything's controlled. Everything's about your program.
Rehab. Now, Tony, that had to have been the most surreal thing to be at an airport and open up a tabloid, and all of a sudden your life is flashing before you, and there's photos of you, and there's all of these, I don't know, claims of what happened between you and Lindsay Lohan. What was your first reaction? Did you call anyone?
No, my phone started ringing shortly after.
Unbelievable.
The phone just started blowing up. So,
I think Scott was the first person I called, and he goes, I already know.
I've seen it. I'm getting phone calls from Access Hollywood.
Yeah,
now.
what have you heard?
So now, when did it take the next step of becoming? I guess the allegations now. I guess that your wife or former wife, Stephanie, has made said that you and Lindsay hooked up, if you will, in a bathroom. How does she know this, or
where's she getting that from?
Where does she get the information from to make that kind of accusation? I guess is my question.
That's the bad part about these rags that come out. She has never said anything like that. There's been no confirmation.
She never even said it.
She never even said it.
How does that get out?
Because that was the entire story.
I don't know, but her lawyers are probably going to be really interested in finding out.
Wow. All right. So she was quoted as saying something she actually didn't even say.
Misquoted.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Because that was pretty much the guts of the whole story, was her quote saying that you guys hooked up while you were in rehab. So now what then, in that case, if she never said that and she doesn't allege you, what has, if you don't mind me asking, I know it's kind of personal, what's led to the divorce, the split then?
Well, I was no choir boy. That's how I wound up in rehab. So there was problems going on then. When I went, I was legally separated while I was in rehab. So there's all this business about me getting thrown out of my house and all that. Absolute garbage.
So, Tony, now that we have you on and we're talking about it, people are forwarding me links to some of the things that are being written. And I'm now that we know what you're telling us is the truth, that your wife never said what she said, that you guys had hooked up in a bathroom. This one came in from a source close to Stephanie. Quotation fingers. She's had it. They've tried forever to have kids. She went through IVF, in vitro fertilization, 3 times, and they went. They have two. They finally have 2 beautiful babies, and then he hooks up in rehab with a girl half his age. A source close to Stephanie says, and I love that it's always a source close to Stephanie.
I think a lot of that stuff,
Stephanie.
We were actually talking off air about this. That a lot of that stuff from certain tabloids is just flat and made up. I guess. I don't know, Tony. Your take on this?
It's not very interesting to read about people going to the grocery store and buying their Lucky Charms or the Rice Krispies. So,
damn. So there's never going to be a tabloid written about me, is what you're saying.
Hopefully not. No.
Bastards.
We can help.
Follow me around for a couple
I'll
of
just
days.
follow around Tony, and all of a sudden, Tony's got new running buddy. Are they both dating Lindsay? Who knows? Who knows?
This has got to be just totally distracting for you, Tony.
It's something I have to think about every day of how to keep it in perspective. That's why I haven't talked to too many people about it. And when I've had the opportunity to, talk to some people like you guys who are just, tell us your side, that I have. I don't want to, I don't want to sensationalize this. There's been wild reports like, I was doing it for the money. Look, if I was doing this for publicity, I certainly wouldn't be saying that it's not true. I'm not interested in that. I haven't taken any money for anything. And I just want to set the story straight. My wife is a good person. And she doesn't deserve any of this either. She doesn't want the attention, and it's just very sad. And when we have all of these problems going in the world, one of the reasons Scott and I did Peace Dog, because of the state of affairs, they're talking about some made-up story about people that had to go through something, and just because we know each other, that means so many other things. So people will buy their magazines. I just think that's a very sad state of affairs.
That's the way the world works these days.
It amazes me that anyone cares.
That's the other thing too.
If your name is Lindsay Lohan, people are going to write stuff about you on a daily basis.
We live shallow lives. This is all we have.
Yeah, Sean lives. You guys record music in a basement. Sean lives in one, waiting for his wife to come out from San Francisco to join him, if that ever will happen. So, all right. Well, I mean, I'm glad we kind of cleared some of this up, and I'm glad you got to come in and at least tell your side of the story. I guess the final question would be the straight out, flat out question. Did you hook up with Lindsay Lohan in rehab?
Absolutely not.
There you go.
There you have it.
You got it. Sometimes you got to ask the straight up question to get the straight up answer. So we appreciate you being candid with us, Tony, and coming in and talking to us.
And good luck with everything as
seriously.
well.
Good project, good music, and
Thanks.
you seem like really good people. And here's another question: are you being followed now? Like, are there people outside our building?
Yeah, that's why our security is here with us.
Nice.
Are they serious? Are they seriously following you around here now in Atlanta? Now that you're back home?
I haven't seen them today, but I did see them yesterday, so that
okay.
means they are still around.
I'd say give it an hour at this point.
I was going to say, you're going to be walking out of here, someone's going to jump out of a conference room or a cubicle at you with a camera. Well, take his picture!
Stay in touch with us and let us know how everything's going with the band, too.
Yeah.